Hello there, and welcome back to Szpakowo. So it's a rainy April morning. April showers is definitely ringing true this year. We have quite a bit to get done, and I don't think any of it is going to be affected by the rain, at least not in the game anyway. So we have our sunflower field to take care of in terms of weeding and fertilizing the pieces that we missed due to the planter running out of fertilizer. We have our field here in the middle to plant sorghum in and roll, and then we have our long grain rice field to plant. So there is quite a bit to do. Before we get started, let's take a look in the menus like we always do. First of all, let's check our cows. They've got enough food left to last them. They are starting to run a bit high on slurry, so we're going to have to think what to do with that because none of our fields need slurry. We could throw some down on our grass field just to give it an extra coat of fertilizer. We could even use it on our sunflower field, even though most of it has already been fertilized. We have an excess of it, so we could just throw it down on there. So we may choose to do that. Our horses, they're doing just fine. They're getting sold in 2 months, so they will not be a bother to us once they are sold. And then our productions, so both our bakeries are doing good. How is our dairy doing? Not our dairy, how is our grain mill doing? So we had about 6,000 litres of wheat left. That's okay, we've got plenty in there for now. And then our dairy, doing good, producing away there. Our greenhouse, that's doing good. And then let's just take a look at our carpentry. What's going on with that? So we've got almost 1,000 litres of furniture. So we're almost at 1 pallet of that, which is just perfect. So let's get started then. And I think what we'll do first is throw down fertilizer on our sunflower field. So let's get our tractor started up. We'll go and collect our slurry spreader, fill up with slurry, and we will get our sunflowers covered in slurry. Sounds delightful, doesn't it? Okay, so just quickly as we're backing up here, the weather forecast, okay, it's just changed to rain and then sun. When I looked at it when we loaded into the map, I only saw rain. I'm thinking, how long is it actually going to rain for? But we are going to get sun at some point, hopefully. So let's fill up with slurry here. Let's take a quick look at the calendar. Oh, it's going to stop raining fairly soon and then rain some more a little bit later. Okay. We're full of slurry, so let's head over to our field and get some of this laid down. I will continue on with this and some of the other tasks I mentioned, and I will come back to you soon. Okay, we've spread slurry everywhere we needed to, so we had a little bit of our rice field that we couldn't quite catch with the last slurry load before we ran out, and so we finished that off. We also just spread slurry over the whole of the sunflower field because we just had the excess slurry to spare, and the sorghum field was already done from the last slurry load. Also threw it down on our grass field. Doesn't really matter over there. I'm not intending on cutting the grass unless we really don't have anything to do, or unless we need to get some more input for the TMR. So yeah, it's just I threw it down on there to use it up, just because I'm sure the cows will be producing it again pretty quickly. So let's park our drill away over at the side of the shed here where it lives, and we will move over to the sorghum field and get that planted and rolled. One thing I want to check before we start planting the sorghum field is I noticed that when we spread slurry in the sorghum field, it wasn't registering the nitrogen, but I'm wondering if that's something to do with the fact that there was no crop actually in the field. That's something I'm just going to take a quick look at before we start planting. So if we jump into our menus here, we go over to precision farming. We do now have the information. Let's see. Look at the soil types, pH, nitrogen yield. How do you get the... Here it is here. So the nitrogen is only showing 3.8, which doesn't really make sense because it has enough nitrogen in it. Same with this field here. Actually, which field were we looking at? So yeah, this field here, 3.8. This field here has it. All of our fields have. See, this field doesn't, I guess because we haven't planted the rice. No, we have planted the rice now. So maybe overnight it will register as having enough nitrogen in it. Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen, because this was blank last month and then overnight, maybe that's how it works. I don't know. Anyways, let's carry on with planting our sorghum field. We'll start over this side here and we'll get it planted and get it rolled as well. And I just realized I planted sunflowers. That's not what we want, is it? I'm not going to make the same mistake as I made with the wheat before, or with the rice before, where I only realized it was wheat when I went to check it the month after it had been planted, and I thought the game was broken. No, that's not going to happen this time. Anyways, I'll carry on with this and I will come back to you shortly. Okay, so this is the last row of the sorghum field that we are planting. As I started planting the field and I got to the dark bit of that first row over there, I realised that I completely forgot to pick up the stones from it when I had the stone picker last month. And that's because I was mainly focused on the other field over there, and I forgot I'd created that extra space or that extra strip of field on this field as well. So next time we get stone picker, we'll have to make sure we cover this piece of the field. It's not worth spending the 3,000 euros to rent it to just clear those little pieces up. What I was thinking, I was looking at the plot map in between episodes, and there's a little piece up there that I can also convert into field for the sunflower field. So maybe next season we will take care of that. We'll rent the stone picker again just to clear up all the stones. We will see. I'm going to put the planter actually over here in the corner because I don't see us using it until next season now. Yeah, we'll put it over here in the corner like that. So next up then is to roll that field. I was also doing some thinking about our crops for next season. I know it's a whole year away, but I feel like forward planning is the way to go with farming. Especially with our VIP orders. And I think what we might do next season is do sugar beets in one field and potatoes in the other field. That is going to yield us a massive amount of crop because both of those are super high yielding crops. And what I was thinking for the sugar beet was that we could chop it down into, is it cut beet or cut sugar beet? I can't remember. And we could, the dairy doesn't take, it takes sugar. So how is sugar produced in the game? How is sugar actually produced? Switch off the engine for a second. If we look at our productions here, it's produced in a sugar mill. So maybe next season we could buy a sugar mill, because all of the sugar we produce, some of it can go into the dairy, and then we can produce additional dairy products. Anyways, it's enough of my dreaming and planning for next year again. Let's get on and roll this field. I don't think there's anything else to do this month, so we might just skip through to May and see what else we can do in May. So yeah, I will carry on with the rolling. I'll be back with you soon. Okay, so we're rolling the last row of the sorghum field, and doesn't it look neat and tidy? And by the way, the field stones were rolled into the field by the roller, of course. I completely forgot the mechanics of field stones as I switched them off, but the smaller field stones can be rolled into the field by the roller, never to be seen again, hopefully. Alright, so that's the field complete. Let's fold the roller away. I'll just wait for it to fold away so it doesn't wipe out our tanker on the way past. What is next? I think we're probably going to skip through to May. Let's jump into the menus. And I just want to check the prices of our products and when the best time is to sell. So there's nothing in April line, but that's not one of our sellable products. Furniture is in July. Yeah, there isn't anything in April. So we're all good for all of that. Okay, I will skip through to May and I will see you there. Do not fear, May is here. I don't know why I said that. It has absolutely no relevance to our farm. I just like it because it rhymes. Anyways, welcome to May. So first thing we're going to do this May is flood our rice field, because I do have a habit of forgetting to do that, even though I think I've only forgotten once. That can be doing its thing while we are working on the rest of the farm. Next, let's jump into our precision farming menu. I really want to see why this is still showing... Yeah, see, this is still showing no nitrogen. So if we go to nitrogen here, it's still not showing a good value. I wonder what would happen if we actually went over this field with our sprayer. You know what I think the issue might be is that the areas where it's over, where there's too much nitrogen, it's taking away from the score, because the slurry doesn't give it the right amount of nitrogen for the crops. It gives it the most nitrogen for the best crop yield. So maybe that's the issue with it. There's too much slurry in the field. I don't really know how to get around that, because we need to use our slurry somehow. Just since we've emptied the calves, 4-month-old calves have given us 6,000 litres of slurry, so they are really producing it at a vast rate. So yeah, I don't really know how to get around that for precision farming. Maybe it's just one of those sacrifices I have to accept, because the only other alternative is to sell the slurry, which I can't do at the biogas plant because I don't own it. I could take it over to liquid manure, but that's right over the other side of the map. I don't really want to start doing that. We'll see. Maybe that's just a sacrifice that we have to accept. Anyways, what are we going to be doing this June? Well, I don't think there's really anything we can do on our fields. Take a look. The only thing we might be able to do is weeding, but looking at our fields here, there are a few weeds, but there's not really that much, and I don't really want to use our herbicide because we don't have the sensor for the spot spraying. So I know we have an absolute ton of herbicide here, but I don't want to just waste it for the sake of it. So we have two options of what to do. We can either mow our grass and chop it up into bales to sell as silage in winter, which I don't really want to do because it's getting a bit repetitive. Or we can skip through to June and possibly even July. Yeah, I don't think there's really not that much else to do in terms of our own current fields. So yeah, I think we will skip through to June, possibly July, and maybe even August. Yeah, we'll skip through, and I will see you in June. We have arrived in June, and not a moment too soon. And our horses have been sold, but it looks like they haven't been collected yet. Is that horse over there alive? I didn't know horses looked like that when they were laying down. That's kind of weird to see. I've never seen a horse laying down before in real life or in Farming Simulator. So there's a first for everything. Anyways, so those horses have been sold. We're just waiting for their new owners to come and collect them. I'm guessing we're charged per horse and not for the entire stable. But yeah, we've made a little bit of money overnight. Let's flood our rice field for the month. And once again, I don't think there's too much to do. I'm wondering if it's worth doing a deadwood contract just to keep our carpentry topped up. We've got more than enough in there to last us for the foreseeable future. Yeah, we've got 10,000 litres in there, but I'm just thinking while there's not much to do in June, we could just do a deadwood contract. The good thing is because we're throwing it all in our carpentry, we don't need to chop the trees up into smaller chunks because we're not selling them, so it doesn't matter what condition they're in, how many branches they have on them. So we could quickly zip through this deadwood contract and throw it in our carpentry. I think that might be worth doing, so let's take that. One thing I'm going to take care of on the way over to that deadwood contract, actually, I'm going to go over here to our sunflower field. And I'm going to put another beehive down because I believe that sunflowers are one of the crops that benefit from having a beehive nearby. So let's go to our animals, go to our bees, and we'll pick up a beehive. We could even plant a couple of these, couldn't we? I think that might make sense. So we'll put one here, maybe kind of like here. Like that. And then maybe we'll put another one up here as well. Yeah, I think that makes sense. We're not going to be using this area in between the fields for anything, so we can throw a couple of beehives down. I don't know how big the radius is for the bonus they provide, but extra honey is always good. Then maybe we should put one over here. No, we'll keep the rest of the money. Anyways, let's get over to that field and complete this deadwood contract. I think I have everything. I have the log fork, I have the big trailer, and I have the chainsaw in my pocket. Okay, so it looks like I can't cut the tree that you see at the bottom of the screen there, and I'm thinking that's because it probably encroaches onto our neighbour's land here. However, we've got a very full trailer, so what I'm going to do is just ignore the other 2 or 3 trees that we cut down. We don't need them right now, so we've completed the contract. We've got enough wood to top up our sawmill and to keep it sustained and producing for the foreseeable future. So we'll just load up these last 3 big logs that we see. This one in the front loader now, and then these 2 on the screen, and then we'll head back to our carpentry and we'll get this stuff offloaded. Okay, so here we are over at the carpentry. This is going to be a difficult swing around here, so we managed to get into this piece of it. Now how are we going to get to dropping the logs off? I think probably reversing around here like this. Definitely requires some special maneuvers here. There we go. I think that works. I think we're in the sell point there. So just before we offload everything here, let's see what we have. We have 3 pallets of furniture, which is fantastic. We have 10,000 litres of wood in the carpentry. So let's sell what we have on the trailer, and now we have 22,000 litres of wood. Absolutely perfect. Okay, so I am going to head over to the fuel station and top up with diesel and get the tractor repaired. And I will skip through to July and I will see you there. Okay, so it is July and I still cannot fly. How disappointing. Why is it snowing? It's July. Or is that hail? I don't know. Anyways. Oh. I guess I shouldn't have insulted it by calling it snow. It's decided to prove itself. I am not snow, I will hail on you. Anyways, let's go flood our rice field. Probably doesn't need flooding. It's getting bombarded by hail, but we will do it anyway. There we go, we'll get that flooded. So, what are we going to do for July? Well, let's take a look at our goods production. Actually, our animals first. We should take a look at those. They've got 10,000 litres of food left. That's good. They're growing up into bigger cows now. So hopefully this month they'll start producing milk again. We've got 667 litres there now. Let's see how much they have next month. I think now might actually be a good time to produce some more TMR for them. So there's only 6,000 litres left in the storage. So maybe we'll just switch that on. And I must remember to switch it off because it's very expensive to operate. So we'll have that producing TMR. And then let's take a look at our carpentry. So we've got almost 5,000 litres of wood. So what is the price of that? Oh wow, we've got almost 8,000 litres. So we've got a nice 30,000 euros of product that we can offload. So it's going over to the construction site, which is over by Spactrans, I believe. Is there anything else that we can sell off this month? I don't think there is. Nothing else to offload. October is the next offload for butter, cheese, milk and bottled milk. So all of that can be sold off then. Let's take a look at the weather quickly just to see how long it's going to be raining for. It's going to be raining until 1 o'clock. I was thinking at this point maybe we should mow the grass and get a batch of silage fermenting for for winter or for next year to sell, because we are still in that farm expansion stage where all of the products that we gather and sell go towards our farm expansion, and we are in need of some rather expensive equipment. The vegetable planters, the vegetable harvesters. We can actually plant sugar beets with our planter. Potatoes, however, is a different story. They need a rather expensive planter. And obviously the harvesters, we're going to have to buy the home topper and the harvester. So that's going to cost us around, what was it, 200,000 to 300,000. So we do need to get money together to be able to afford that. Looks like the horses' owners still haven't collected them, which I guess it's fine, but I wish they would come and collect them. So let's go up to our carpentry and let's load this furniture up and get it taken over to the construction site. Okay, so we're just arriving at the construction site here. I thought it was over by Spactrans. I thought it was that area where the workmen are, where as you drive into Spactrans, but apparently I was wrong. The construction site is actually here. So we're about to deliver our furniture. Okay, and it appears the screenshot bug has struck again and made the hail go away, but never mind. I wanted to take a screenshot of this for the thumbnail. Anyways, let's get the furniture unloaded. So there we go, 30,370 for our furniture, plus 724 environmental score. So a nice 31,000 mid-year cash injection. And just thinking about that furniture, actually, we started that in March. So in 4 months we got 8 pallets. 12 months, that means we're going to get 24 pallets as long as we keep the wood topped up. 24 times 3,000 is going to be 70 or so thousand. It's going to be a very nice earner for us. So happy we didn't sell the carpentry for extra cashish and convert that plot into field. And I think this is a great place to leave this episode. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying following along. If you are, of course, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Until then, bye for now.